Hey everyone, it's Arfan, and welcome back to another episode of Successful Lead Generating Coaches Show. I have a really super awesome guest with me today, something that we haven't talked about yet. And I think a lot of you are going to get a lot of value out of this conversation because it's things that you don't just pick up this information on any street corner of the internet. A lot of people don't give it out freely. It can sometimes feel like it's something tucked away. And we're going to talk about business funding. So I'm here with Erica Hill, who is a money reset coach, and she's going to talk to us about how we can double your business cash flow in 60 days. And Erica is a really awesome person. Had a chance to chat for about an hour or so before this call. And I'm super excited for this conversation. So, Erica, thank you so much for being on the show. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, same here, same here. So, this is a pretty interesting topic, right? So, talk about how to double your business cash flow in 60 days. This is something that can often come up as clickbaity, right? Like we know there's no get rich quick schemes. And a lot of people can frown upon that. Like, oh, you're going to tell me how to do this in such a short amount of time. Like, they kind of scoff at it or, they just kind of ignore it or kind of all their red flags go up, right? So break this down a little bit for us, right? When you talk about how to double your business cash flow in 60 days, what does that exactly mean for a business owner who's making okay money right now, but they want to scale and grow? How does this work for them?
So let me ask you this. For the person that's like the red flag is waving, what is
Mhm.
this? Scam. I want to ask you a question. Like now, what are you doing? Like, how are you scaling and growing your company? Are you somebody that's bootstrapping your business? Are you actually using the money from your business checking account? Are you somebody that's using your personal credit cards to scale and grow your business? Or are you just using your personal credit, period, to scale and grow your business?
Mm.
If you are, you are in the right place. And let me tell you why. Especially when you're bootstrapping your business. If you're somebody that's growing your business and you have
Mhm.
to wait to generate more revenue in order for you to expand, guess what? You're putting yourself in a limited situation.
Mhm.
You can't scale and grow until you get that next client. Um, but I can show you a way where you can scale and grow within 60 days using business funding.
Mm.
Because when you understand how to add business funding into what you're already doing, it takes your numbers to the next level very quickly. So, business funding is a way for you to actually grow very quick without bootstrapping your business. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of people, I know for us, especially when we started doing business funding, it takes a lot of pressure off of kind of operating a business in that feast and famine type of approach where you have to get a sale in order to put anything extra. It's like everything is dependent on that next sale. To now you can actually start growing and scaling, and it allowed us to quickly grow into six figures. I won't go into details of that, but that allowed us to really grow once you start looking at how to do business funding. So a couple of things that come up is that, a lot of times people don't even know, or they're not privy to this knowledge or privy to this information. And a lot of the financial advice that have been given just in probably say in the more general mass type of way have been more against going into doing any type of debt or funding from outside sources, and they more commend bootstrapping. Like bootstrapping is ideally the way to go, and they can put this halo over it, like it's an achievement, so to say, if you bootstrap versus if you did get business funding. How can someone really overcome those different type of hesitations around making a financial decision when they've been taught their whole life that debt is evil, or don't get into ounce of debt, and they're trying to really bootstrap now to make this shift into a different mindset.
Now, I can say that there's a good and a bad to that statement. Personally, and this is just me personally, I can work with startups, but I choose not to. And the reason that I say that is because if you're a business owner, you're just starting out, you really don't know how you're going to gain customers. You don't really know, you don't have that blueprint yet of how you're going to start to generate revenue in your business. I would tell you to stay away from funding initially. And the
Mm,
reason that I say that is because you don't want to start your business out in debt.
mm-hmm,
That's a recipe for disaster.
mm-hmm,
So if you have a coach or mentor or someone that's giving you the blueprint and they're showing you exactly what you need to do to generate revenue, that's a totally different conversation. But if you're just out stabbing in the dark, trying to
mm-hmm.
throw something up, see what works and what doesn't work, you may want to stay away from the business funding piece. Maybe more so look for like grants, things that you don't have to pay back because that's going to
Mm,
be the safest avenue for you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you're someone that's already generating revenue in your business, business funding could be like the dream world for you. Because
Mm-hmm.
now, what I can say is you have to know your numbers. That's the most important piece of it. If you're someone
Okay.
generating revenue, but you don't know your expenses, you don't know your cost per acquisition, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know your net profits, you don't know the numbers, adding in business funding could be a recipe for disaster, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to add business funding into mismanagement of money.
Mm,
When you actually
mm-hmm.
understand, so business funding, there's a strategy and a system. It's not just the capital, it's the system to actually leverage the capital.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that system, it will allow you to grow quicker. So when you
Gotcha.
add business funding into a business that actually knows their numbers, the numbers tell you, the numbers are like your cheat sheet because the numbers are going to tell you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah, and that makes a lot of sense too, because you don't, again, you don't first, like you said, you don't want to go starting off in a hole because that'll put undue pressure. I think starting off in a hole and with debt can put a lot more pressure versus going from sale to sale, because at least you know that you're not already in a hole and you owe debtors in addition to your regular monthly operating expenses and so forth. So when you say okay, so ideal picture being painted. Someone is they've been in business, they've been operating for X time, but they know their numbers. They have good accounting practices. They can tell you what their acquisition cost is. They know their profits, their loss, and their revenue. There's already revenue coming in. This is more like this is the lay of the land as far as saying, hey, you're you're starting to become lend. Could you tell us like to become like ready to start going into business funding? Am I understand that correctly as far as where they need to be?
So I would say you just need to be generating revenue within your business because if you're generating revenue and you add business funding in there, it will give you that extra boost. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to go to the next level, you need to know those numbers. So, as
Okay,
you're
gotcha,
getting the
gotcha,
funding, you have to put the systems in place so that you understand your numbers.
gotcha. Is there a
Once
certain amount of funding to be at before saying, hey, you start being at 50K a month or 20K a month? Does it really matter?
No, not at all. No, it doesn't matter at all. Knowing those numbers is what matters. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say hypothetically speaking, you're somebody and you're spending like $5,000 a month in marketing on ads.
Mm-hmm.
You know that if you spend that $5,000, you're like doubling. So that $5,000 that you're spending on ads is generating like $10,000 a month in revenue. Well, guess what? Being that you know 5,000 is going to get you at least 10, if you put in $10,000, guess what's going to happen? It's going to generate 20. If you
Mm-hmm.
put in so if you know those numbers, it tells you like what steps you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that if I put in, if I use, I'm spending this amount to get this, when
Mm-hmm.
you double what you're putting in, you're gonna double what you're taking out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And I know we're obviously operating in perfect world numbers here, right? That everything is double. But the whole concept is that if you are getting a return on ad spend, and you know those numbers, you can more predictably use your funding to be an asset rather than a debt, rather than an expense is actually growing and scaling your business. Because now you don't have to wait until the next sale to have 10,000 to put into advertising. You can put that in now because you already have the funding available and you're immediately increasing your revenue because now not only are you able to pay back the funding, but you're able to, I mean, in my mind, if it was me, if I have 6 months of funding at this rate and it's on, let's say it's on a credit card or something like that, and I can predictably get a 2x return on ad spend for that 6 months, every single penny of that is going to be doubled every single month or as quick and as fast as possible, to just kind of keep the machine flowing. At least that's how my mind works.
Exactly. And another thing too, like let's say that you got, and I always start my clients off with 0%. And the reason that I do that is because, we actually teach them how to get in contact with those numbers.
Mm,
We actually, because a lot of times people avoid their finances because,
mm-hmm,
maybe they grew up in a household where they heard a bunch of negative things about money. Money doesn't grow on trees, or the love of money is the root of all evil, or put that back. We can't, just a lot of negative things. Well, guess what? As an adult, those self-sabotaging limited beliefs are still within the way you operate when it comes to money.
mm,
So a lot of times it could be that, you're making good money, but there's something stopping you from getting to those numbers. Maybe when you do a spreadsheet or a budget or, whatever, you feel anxious. And the reason I'm saying this, I find, is because I had a client like that. We're
really?
working on getting the funding, and I'm like, okay, so let's, we need to know what your personal numbers are as well as the business. So I gave her the software that I wanted her to use,
Mm-hmm,
and she made an appointment with me, and she said, Erica, I can't. She said, I got anxiety. I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, what happened? So as I'm
wow.
coaching her through it, we realized that the way she grew up, her parents were business owners.
Mm-hmm,
And she saw, their lights getting cut off,
mm,
they weren't managing their money properly. So now she had a block, and she didn't even know this.
mm-hmm,
She had great credit, she makes great money, but she never tracked her money. So when we
mm,
got to the root of it, it was because of what she saw as a child. It stuck in her,
wow.
and it became a block to her.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's deep.
not only were we able to walk her through that, she has kids and she has grandkids. So now guess what? She can teach her kids and her grandkids something different when it comes to money. So it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't stop with you. Sometimes it could be a whole generational lineage that you're changing when you actually, start with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. So we're getting into it now. So, so again, we're going to talk about how to double your business cash flow in 60 days. So what's next? We covered quite a few things here as far as like getting a little bit of a lay of the land where you want to be. Not exactly at a startup, but if you are bootstrapping, you are generating some revenue in your business. What's next? What's the next step someone should take now to start doubling that cash flow in their business?
The first thing I would do is tell you to pull your personal credit report to
Mm-hmm.
find out what are your scores. Like, are you someone that's lender ready? Are you
Mm,
someone that will even qualify for funding? And if you're not, you need to know why. Do
mm,
you have late payments on your credit report? Do you have collections account? Do you have a bunch of inquiries? So once you actually know, like, where you are, then you can come up with a game plan, because it could be something as simple as doing credit repair.
okay.
And once you actually get these things off, now you're lender ready. So you have to become knowledgeable about and aware of where you are before we can, get to the next point.
Gotcha. For personal numbers like that for a credit score, like for example, you're trying to get a mortgage, you got to be at like 640 or something like that. I forget what it is, but do they also need to be at a certain credit score
Mhm.
before even thinking, hey, am I lender ready?
Yes, you need to be at least a 700 or higher.
Okay.
And that's across the board. You want to pull a tri-merge credit report. And when I say a tri-merge credit report, you want to know what your numbers are with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You need
Mm,
to know what all three of those numbers are.
gotcha.
The higher the scores, the more funding you may get. So
Mm,
you want those scores to be as high as possible. But keep in mind that if you're not there, you can get there. There are ways that you can actually boost your credit scores. So don't let
okay.
that stop you, and don't be afraid.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so pull your credit report, because you gotta kind of know where you are before you go next, and for everyone that's going to be a little different because there are going to be those who pull it and they're just in. I don't want to use the word whole, but you're in a different starting point versus others who may already be at 700, kind of ready to go. Um, So for those who are below the 700, essentially they need to work on getting theirs up using some of the different uh tips and tactics for getting that, and that's probably a separate conversation as far as like getting your credit, the different things you can do to get your credit up. Is there something you want to talk about on that or mention really quick, or I don't want to dive too much into that, but
Well, it just depends because it could be as something as simple as you had a bunch of inquiries on your credit report and you didn't open up accounts.
mhm.
If an account is not attached to that inquiry, you can get that removed. And depending on how many inquiries are, just something small like that can boost your credit scores.
Gotcha. Now,
Or
can someone do you help them with that? If like help them with that beginning phase? Okay, good. Hey,
yes.
guys, at the end here, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get on a call with Erica. Not I am. Erica's going to give you the opportunity, not necessarily me, but I'm going to give you the link so that Erica provided me. So that way, if you are at that point where you want to become more lender ready, you can still have a contact right now for those who are ready, and they've done that. They pulled their regular report. They got everything. They're checking the boxes. They're like, Erica, I'm ready for this. What's next for them?
So what's next is for them to actually book a call with me. And the reason that I say that is the Linda credit scores is just one piece to it.
Mm,
The lenders also look at the business profile.
mm,
So the business profile and the credit profile go hand in hand. And what
gotcha.
I see a lot is, a lot of times businesses are not set up properly. So
Mm,
we would need to make sure that your business is structured properly. And when I say that, I mean the name of your business. Sometimes the way that you name your business, you could have named your business in something that's like a high risk industry, and that would either
mm,
get you denied or get you limited funding. So, or
gotcha.
the way that you have the NAICS code, that NAICS code is attached to ratings. So
Mm,
you may not know this, but the NICS code that you actually have may be considered in a high risk industry. So it's
gotcha.
things of that nature. Are you, using like a UPS address, a mail
Mm,
stop address, a post office address?
mm-hmm.
Are you using your home address? Things like that are very important because when you're going to the lender and you're asking them for 50, 100, 150, 200, $300,000,
Yeah.
they want to make sure you're a viable business. Like
Mm,
if you have like a Yahoo account that your email address is attached to, your number's not registered with the listed with the 411 directory, like things of that nature. Those things need
mm,
to be structured properly. So we look
gotcha.
at your personal credit, the profile of the personal credit, and also the business profile as well.
Gotcha. So when you say name business, are you talking about the business name
Mhm.
or so the actual name that they put on there? And you say it could be high risk. The name itself could be high risk. How does someone work to identify if their business name is high risk?
So let's say that my company's name was Erica Real Estate.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate within itself is a high risk. And
Mm-hmm.
how they look at it is they look at, does this business have a lot of overhead?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a business that has a lot of overhead, that's considered high risk.
Mm-hmm.
So if I named my company Erica Real Estate, just the name real estate itself is considered high risk. Or
Gotcha.
let's
Gotcha.
say that I had a company and it was called logistics, transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Logistics and transportation, both are high risk. So we haven't even gotten to the NAICS code. It's just the name itself is a red flag. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. Just depending on the niche you're in and there's no list of this out there as far as like these are red flag lists of names or anything like that. It's just a matter of using expertise. So make sure you guys will get opportunity to get with Erica if you think that you are at that point where you're looking to leverage business funding and you want to do it. You want to do it right. You want to do it correct. And now I want to add some clarity on something because you threw some numbers out there. If you're looking to get 100,000, 200, 300,000 or stuff like that, you need to have this there, right? So this is going to increase your chances to make you more lender ready, make you look better also in the lender eye, have more trustworthy, that they feel safer and say, hey, I can lend this company 300,000 because my chances of getting this money back is great. So they're not going to
Exactly.
deny it. Now, just approaching it from that lens and that, hey, this is going to push me or put me in a position to be able to get 100K or more in funding. Um, does that also increase the opportunities to get lesser amounts? If it was just 20K or 30K or so, there's businesses out there where 10K, 5K can do amazing for their business. Does this work holistically across the entire board? Or is it if the lower amounts are seeking, there's different structures as needed? How does that work exactly?
No, it works across the board, but you always want to do future projections on your company. You want to set your business up in a way that, you don't want to just go after, you may only need 10,000 now, but let's say
Mm,
6 months from now, you need more money and you're not structured properly. So you want to go ahead, even though you may not need that amount now, just structure your business properly so that when you do need that amount, you already know, that
mhm.
I don't have to go through all this because I've already done it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Very cool, very awesome. Well, this has been extremely helpful. Like obviously, this is a topic that we could dive into a lot, right? So, guys, if you're listening right now, if you are at that point where you're in business, you're making some revenue, you want to scale, but you find that you're bootstrapping, you're going from in order to do anything, you're dependent on having that next sale, and it's preventing the opportunities for you to actually scale your business and you are seeking to do some business funding, Erica, how can someone get in touch with you? What's the best way to get on a call with you so we can see if working together is a good fit?
So they can go to my website, www.wearebankable.com. That's
Mm-hmm.
www.wearebankable.com. Answer a few questions and it will lead you directly to my calendar.
Okay, awesome. That's wearebankable.com. I'll put a link down in the show notes and in the description so you guys can just click on that, schedule a call with Erica. She does have a little bit of an application because, again, as you can imagine, there's everyone's going to be at a different point, right? So she wants to make sure that if she can help you, that when you get on a call, that's going to be beneficial. So don't hesitate to schedule that just a free call. I mean, can't go wrong there, right? The worst you can say is it doesn't work, but the best you can do is partner with someone who knows this industry, who knows how to be able to get you 0% lending, which is amazing, and just think about the possibilities of what this can do for your business, especially if you're looking to add some more scalability, if you're looking to get to that next level, break through that ceiling that's itching at you to get to. So definitely contact with Erica. Erica, was there anything else that we missed that you wanted to add before we wrap up today?
So if you're on social media, you can reach out to me at Ask Erica Hill on Facebook. On
Mm.
Instagram, I'm Ask Erica Hill 1.
Awesome. Very cool. Awesome. Very cool. So yeah, check her out on social. And if you do you mind if they send you a DM if they have a question
Oh,
or
no, that's
okay.
perfect. Sure.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. If you have a question, shoot her a DM and I'm sure you'll get a lot of value. I've gotten tons of value just in getting to know Erica and just having some conversations. And she's also a very fun person. So you guys will have a good time. So with that being said, again, Erica, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. I look forward to everyone's getting an opportunity to learn more about business funding and the possibilities that this can have for your business. This is not something where we're saying go into debt. What we're talking about here is to have additional assets to your business to increase the flow of cash you have available so that way you can grow, you can scale, you can just start hitting those next levels in your business. So Erica, again, thank you so much. Everybody, don't forget to share this episode with someone that you think might be helpful. If you have a partner, a friend is a business, and you're like, hey, they've been talking about business funding, or you think it'd be a good idea for them, share this episode with them so they can get a little bit of knowledge too as well. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel and us on podcast. And with that being said, my name is Arfan, and I will catch you all next time. Have a great one, everybody. Bye bye.